Okay, our next speaker is someone who's truly at the heart of the bookkeeping profession, Amy Copeland, the CEO of Institute of Certified Bookkeepers. It's the world's largest bookkeeping organization. Amy is passionate about empowering bookkeepers to do their best work, raising the standards, embracing technology, and championing the people. I have literally seen her at every event, every month. She's online, she's very active on social media, and today she's going to be sharing her insights on how bookkeepers are leading the charge on MTD itself. So please, a very warm welcome to Amy. Amy, all session is yours.
Many thanks, Reshma. What a pleasure it is to be here today, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am indeed Amy Copeland, the CEO of the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers. We are the UK's governing body for bookkeepers, and we're a global organisation. So around the world, we have around 150,000 members and students. And bookkeepers are absolutely key to making tax digital. And this is really a behavioural change, I think, for our clients, for the businesses that are going to be affected by MTD IT. And who better to help them nudge them into better digital record keeping and more timely production of information, as we've just seen in that poll. We've got a long way to go, but you guys are very well placed, I think, to help businesses enjoy, perhaps, and even benefit from making tax digital for income tax. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about where we see that, where that success is going to come from, where the opportunity lies, and how you can be instrumental in helping it work. So, making tax digital for income tax, if we go right back to basics, it's about keeping digital records and sending quarterly updates to HMRC. And these are top level income and expenses updates. So really, it's been completely misnamed. It's not about a change to tax necessarily. It's really about making bookkeeping mandatory. And as we all know, bookkeeping is so fundamental to the whole accounting process. And what HMRC is hoping is that they're going to start seeing that tax gap get smaller, and that errors will be reduced, and that businesses are going to start to understand their tax liabilities earlier on in the year. And of course, if you like bookkeeping and you're a bookkeeper or you do bookkeeping, then you will already know the benefits that come with doing great bookkeeping. So a big change. Now, you will have seen this already, the Making Tax Digital timeline. Just to reiterate this, a huge number of taxpayers are affected by this. So 864,000 estimated coming into MTD IT in April, just, about 20 working days away. And then that cohort gets bigger the next year as it starts to affect people who've got a turnover of 30,000 and above. So over 1 million taxpayers next April, and then around 1 million again the following April. Now, just to put that into context, around 35% of the taxpayers affected don't have an agent. So they are unrepresented. They don't have an accountant or a bookkeeper to do their tax return for them currently. And of those 35%, 83% of them are not using commercial software to do their tax return. So a big change, I think, for businesses is they're going to have to use software like Zoho to do their bookkeeping and their tax. You can no longer use the government gateway access. So that's going to be a big change for them. And just here, I've put that we've actually got 217,000 taxpayers who are unrepresented, who don't have an agent, an accountant, or a bookkeeper to do their tax return starting in April. 217,000. And we've already seen how good your clients currently are at getting you the information that you need in order to do their books and their accounts. A lot of them still promising the world and not giving you what you need, or bringing it to you in a shoebox full of receipts or a plastic bag. If you think about the 217,000 people who don't have your support, you can imagine what kind of mess they may get themselves into. One of the things I think this also suggests is that you may well start to see increased demand. So just think about now what you'll do when the new clients, the prospective new clients, come knocking. And I know that a lot of accountants and bookkeepers are very altruistic. You want to help. You see the chaos and you want to bring calm. But just remember to be boundaried and make sure that you don't say yes to lots of clients that you can't handle, because there are lots and lots of potential clients out there. Now, this is just a little visualization of these quarterly updates you're going to be doing. So really the work starts here, doesn't it? So you've got your August deadline for that first quarterly update. And the great news is these quarterly updates are cumulative, so you don't have to go back and fix Q1 if you suddenly find extra expenses or receipts or something has changed. You just fix it in the next quarter. So that's great news. And also more great news is that penalties don't start accruing in this first year, but they will come. Now, the tax return, of course, hasn't changed. It will be on the new system, but ostensibly it stays the same, the date is the same, and the payment is the same. But what you've got to think about is here, where you're working in the current year, right here in the middle, you've got your January deadline for the previous year's tax return. So that's going to start to feel a little bit peculiar, I imagine, and busy. And if you're running a once a year service, what you need to start thinking about is how you're going to charge your clients to start working in year and then charge them for their self-assessment tax return here in the January. So it really is a good time to be having those conversations about how you're going to price Making Tax Digital services. As I said, late submissions of those quarterly updates leads to points, and points lead to penalties. So you get 3 points, and that equals a financial penalty for your client. You must also consider that if they've got their property and they've also got their sole trader income, and they might have two trades, those are all going to be separate quarterly updates. So the amount of points that you could get for a late quarterly update are just going to start multiplying. So it is something to be mindful of, and certainly something that you need to include in your conversations with your clients, because there is a huge amount of responsibility for you doing somebody's quarterly updates. And likewise, if they've decided they want to press that button and submit those quarterly updates themselves, they need to make sure they're doing it on time, because the amount of times you can fall foul of HMRC have just multiplied. So really, Making Tax Digital is a great opportunity for you to start thinking about how you want to position your firm and what services you're happy offering. It's a great time to review your clients. Of course, you've got to do that anyway in order to decide who's going to be in April. We've had all of those tax returns submitted, so we know whether our clients are in or out and which year that it's going to apply to them. But also thinking about your services. Now, you've got data capture, you've got bank reconciliations, but that's not really bookkeeping. The real magic comes from when you start doing those adjustments and accruals, dealing with prepayments, other income, stock, things like that. So you've got bookkeeping, then you've got the tax return, you've perhaps got some management accounts, and then what you may well do also is tax planning, talking to your clients about the outlook before you get to the point where it's too late. These are all things that are infinitely easier to do when you've digitized your records. So just think about which of your clients are going to be good at this and which of them are going to need more hand-holding. Now, certainly if you're a bookkeeper who's doing at least quarterly bookkeeping for your clients, you're not going to see a huge change. You're already in this fantastic cycle where you've got real-time data and you're going back and forth to your clients, and you've got those regular touch points and that strong relationship. But if you are running a once-a-year practice, this is going to be a big change. One of the things that is going to help with that is this great concept of multi-agent access. So for the first time, more than one agent can act on behalf of a client for one tax. This is absolutely unheard of as far as HMRC is concerned in any other tax. But for Making Tax Digital income tax, you can have both a supporting agent and a main agent. And you can only have one main agent, but actually you can have multiple supporting agents. So you might have different agents for different trades potentially, or your landlord stuff might be through your letting agent or a different agent. What this means is the supporting agent can log in and do those quarterly updates, that simple submission of the income and the expenses of the business on a quarterly basis. And then the main agent can still do the tax return at the end of the year. Now, remember, your quarterly updates are just the income and expenses of the sole trader and the landlord income, the landlord business. They're not the other things that usually go on a self-assessment tax return. So you've got your pensions, your dividends, your salary. That is all going to be considered by the main agent at the end of the year. You're not even doing adjustments in year. So really, really straightforward stuff. And if you are a once a year accountant, I would strongly recommend you consider hooking up with a great bookkeeper who can be your supporting agent. Oh, I clicked twice there. I've got this lovely picture here. ICB, the governing body for bookkeepers, we have got around 3,500 bookkeepers who are insured and regulated and supervised and qualified to do great bookkeeping. And they're qualified, some of them, to do tax returns as well. So they're certainly able to do that really magical bookkeeping piece, accruals, adjustments, prepayments, but you would say overqualified to do quarterly updates. So there are lots and lots and lots of bookkeepers out there who are able to support you if you need that kind of help. This is me, by the way. That's just a picture of some of us at one of our meetings. But the bookkeeping itself is a fantastic revenue generating engine. And when you don't do bookkeeping in your firm, you're really leaving a great deal of upselling and client relationship just there on the table, because it's a great way to retain clients, because you're having regular touch points. You're understanding a lot more about their businesses, which means that you can prove your value because you know exactly why a business needs your services. Are they looking to save money for a mortgage? Are they looking to employ more staff? Do they want a new office? Do they want to buy new equipment? So because you're having those good conversations throughout the year, you can really keep your clients happy and add value to their business. And of course, it means a more predictable workflow for you. So if at the moment you're struggling with your clients bringing you information at too late, you need to make sure that you are giving them those nudges and bringing in a schedule so that they're giving you that information in a timely manner. And certainly you may have clients, for some of them, they may want to do most of the bookkeeping themselves. They might be happy with their checking their bank feeds, and they may even be happy pressing that button to upload their quarterly updates. But you probably are going to make sure that you are happy with the accuracy of their underlying records. So it's about finding that balance, knowing what the client is happy with, but also you've got to be comfortable as well. What we've been saying at ICB is if you want Making Tax Digital for income tax to work, you've really got to work like a bookkeeper or work with a bookkeeper. So bookkeepers, of course, are very tech savvy because they're using the software every single day, and they're really good at helping clients understand the software too. So part of this exercise is about hand-holding your clients and helping them understand how to scan their receipts all by themselves, how to get those supplier payments in automatically so that you can then do your great work. So it's definitely worthwhile considering whether local bookkeepers might be able to help you get your clients to use their software more confidently. They're great with clients and they're accurate. And one thing I want to make really clear is that certified bookkeepers are very highly qualified. So certified bookkeepers have passed exams with 85% pass marks, and there's 8 of them in order to become certified. So they are more than qualified to handle quarterly updates. And if you're an accountant or you're a bookkeeper and you're wondering if there is an opportunity here to work alongside another firm, there's 3 different ways you can do it. You can subcontract out your work, which means that you retain that relationship with your client and all the billing goes through you, and then you decide how much your subcontractor receives together with them. There's a great deal of flexibility that comes with that, and usually lower cost and less commitment. Obviously, you could employ a bookkeeper or employ an accountant in your firm, or a tax specialist or a bookkeeping specialist, whichever is the specialism that you are looking to fill. You get a lot more control that way, and then you get to retain that knowledge within your firm. But of course, then you've got all the risks that come with employing somebody. Another thing that we're seeing here at ICB is this new concept of co-firming. You're actually partnering with another firm that's got complementary services, and that can work fantastically because we've got this new system of quarterly updates and end of year tax returns. So a fantastic opportunity to see how you might be able to work with your local community to make Making Tax Digital work. And one of the great things about Making Tax Digital for income tax is it helps us reestablish those relationships between accountants and bookkeepers. And really, I like to see it as this sort of beautiful Venn diagram. And in the middle is your happy client. So here's an example of some of the roles that could be split between bookkeeper and accountant. If you are watching and you're an accountant who wants to hang on to that tax return at the end of the year. So what I want to do now is have a look at the questions and the comments in the chat, but I've just put up some QR codes here that you can take a picture of. The first one directs you to a directory of certified bookkeepers. So if you're a bookkeeper yourself and you've got extra work, or if you're an accountant who wants help in the in-year part of the process, you can scan that QR code and find a directory listing of certified bookkeepers in your area. You can also post a vacancy. But I've also got an AI guidance download. Now, with all of this automation and the government's move towards digital record keeping, we are going to have to help our clients move into more digital record keeping habits. And of course, digitization is converging with automation and AI. And there's a huge opportunity for you as a bookkeeper or an accountant to automate a lot of your work and then add more value by taking those numbers and turning them into a narrative for the businesses that you work with. So if you want some guidance on how to do that ethically and compliantly, please do scan that QR code at the bottom there for a bit more guidance on how you do that. Hello, Reshma. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. I'm scanning the QR codes.
Oh, great.
So I think the first one is definitely something that a lot of our customers have also been asking. A lot of sole traders who use our platform because of the new regulation that's coming in, a lot of questions, and there's a lot of admin work that's going to come their way, which they are not really prepared for. So I think finding a bookkeeper option is a great addition over here. And they're definitely going to find somebody qualified and capable to guide them on the MTD journey.
How do you find a bookkeeper who uses Zoho, which is a very good question?
That is something that we're working on. So we do have a partner program. So members of ICB, there have been many, especially ever since we started attending the Bookkeeper Summit. There are a lot of bookkeepers in the organization who have come, spoken to us. They've also become members of the program. So we list them on our website. So if you just go to Zoho Books' website, and if you start looking for Zoho certified advisors, you would find many bookkeepers and accounting firms who are partners of Zoho. So they're all trained and certified on the product. So if you're looking for a combination of Zoho Books and accountants, you could find them over there. Or if you are looking for a bookkeeper in general, I think the link that you gave is also a great start for somebody who doesn't have someone to begin with. I also wanted to take the opportunity here to talk to the audience. And if we have any bookkeepers over here, we have a special package for the members of ICB. We essentially offer our Zoho's finance applications, which includes Zoho Practice, Zoho Books, Expense, all of them for your practice, free for a year. So if you are looking for solutions which don't charge a bomb, to begin with, at least for the first year, it's absolutely free. And then as you scale your firm with Zoho, you can continue using the Zoho Practice for your practice management. Along with that, you can also manage your clients who are going to be sole traders who need a free software. Zoho Books is a great platform for businesses who are just starting off. You could even evaluate it for your clients. Moving on.
A great offer. I love that Andrew says you're a chartered accountant, but you're using Zoho, QBO, Xero, Free Agent, also Apari Pro, and Hammock for landlords. Oh, wow. What a nice selection. And I think a lot of bookkeepers are the same. Yeah. So really sort of tech, nimble, and quite often will be very familiar with multiple bits of software. But that might even answer a bit of Shamshad's question at the top there. Do you have to use one piece of software, or can you use a combination? And like you, Shamshad, a lot of businesses are, and accountants as well, choosing to use Excel spreadsheets for the landlord piece. And that's absolutely fine. So, but you will need to use bridging software to make that work. But you can absolutely use multiple bits of software. I mean, that's like the sort of extra level of complexity. You might have multiple agents helping one business, and they may have different bits of software that they're each using. So that's just, it adds complexity, but it's totally possible. But also you could look at Hammock for landlords, which apparently is really bad. But again, you know, a lot of landlords, this is going to be a massive change for them, and they're just not necessarily switched on to the benefits of using software. And if they've got multiple properties that aren't bringing them very much, you know, the landlord specific software tends to charge you per property. So you know, you may well find it's a little bit overkill. I think Hammock is a bit more focused on the smaller landlords. And was there one other question? That's great. Damahi is using Zoho. That's great. Good to hear. If my accountant's firm doesn't use Zoho, asks Kate, can they still do my tax return if all my bookkeeping is in Zoho? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Zoho has a solution for that if they need one.
I kind of missed that question. Is that in the questions tab?
I think it's the most, it just popped in there.
Okay. And my accountant's firm doesn't use Zoho. Can they still do my tax return? Oh yeah, of course. So right within Zoho Books, you have the option to submit your quarterly updates. So you don't necessarily need to have another solution to file or submit the tax returns. It can be done directly from Zoho itself. And if your accountant or bookkeeper does want the practice side of things as well, they can use Zoho Practice, and that's absolutely free. So there's no additional cost to it. So they can use it as well.
Thank you for putting a link to the special Zoho deal for ICB bookkeepers. That's great. I was just going to answer Sarah Tissel's question in the chat. If a client has a limited company and properties, they need 2 software packages and 2 MTD submissions. They are going to need to do the 2 MTD submissions, but whether or not you have to have different software is going to be up to you and the software. So it's definitely get on the phone to Zoho, I would say, and ask what's the best they can do for you. But some software you will have to put, you know, different trades have to be different accounts technically on the software, but some of them don't operate that way. So they're all a little bit different.
Yeah. I think everybody is evolving, and I think in Zoho right now, you may have to manage it separately, but we are trying to figure out a way how a business can manage all of it under one single organization. So if you're a limited company or if you have a property, trying to figure out if you can do it all within one single org, but right now you'll have to manage it separately. Right. Amy, is there a way if people want to reach out to you after the webinar and they have questions to connect with a bookkeeper who is capable to help them? I think this is the QR code that they can reach out to, right?
Yes, that top red QR code. I actually just double checked it because I thought I should have definitely double checked it before I started.
Yeah.
Yes, you can find bookkeepers through us. We also run lots of events that are free to the general public, so you can join us at events as well. We run a massive event called the Bookkeepers Summit every year. That's in November. You probably can't wait till then. But in the meantime, yes, scan that QR code. You can just search, put your postcode in and find your local bookkeepers, or you can post a vacancy as well. Or, like I say, come to one of our events and connect with me on LinkedIn if you've got any other questions. But, you know, if that's all the rest of the questions, I would just say very good luck with it. This is a huge opportunity where the government is telling the businesses that you work with that they need to be more on it. And so if you can help them with that, I think there's a huge opportunity for you to get more business if you've got the time for it, or help your businesses on a higher level if you've got the capacity for it. So very good luck to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amy. If there are any questions, we'll definitely get back to you. But then thank you once again so much for taking your time and joining us for the MTD Virtual Summit. Thank you once again for all the audience as well. Please stay back. We will start our next session at about 11 a.m. So we have a short coffee break. Please do and come back. Don't close your screens. Be right there. All right. Thank you so much, Amy. Bye-bye.
Have a good rest of the conference. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.